You don't actually need cardio at all to lose body fat, and in this video I'm going to explain why, but I'm also going to tell you about why I still put cardiovascular training into my clients' plans and why you should be doing your cardio. So first off, in the fat loss phase, the most important thing to understand is that the highest point of leverage you will have is in your diet. So if we think about it that you're on average consuming 2,000 calories per day, let's say, that's 14,000 calories over the course of a week. Now, if you're spending 20 minutes, 3 times a week running on a treadmill, maybe you burn somewhere close to 1,000 calories. Compared to that 14,000 calories that you're consuming, that's pretty much a drop in the ocean. It's not even 10%. Most of our exercise activity actually only accounts for 5% of our weekly caloric output. So I wouldn't over-index on it because it's not going to be a good return for your time, for all the stress that you're putting your body under, for the additional recovery requirements that your body is going to have, which could put you at risk of breaking your diet and eating back those extra calories. And that is the risk of prematurely putting cardio into a fat loss phase. Most of the time what I do with my clients is I get them doing the bare minimum of energy expenditure that they do aside from their weight training. So that would typically be somewhere between 8 to 12,000 steps per day. The good old 10,000 steps per day recommendation. That's actually backed by research. It's not just arbitrary. That seems to be a good amount of steps for the average person to get in as like a base layer of activity, which helps to regulate your appetite, regulate your mood, and have it so that you don't overconsume calories. There's two ends of the extreme to think about it where you're most at risk for dysregulating your appetite and eating too much. And that would be if on one extreme you're not doing anything at all, so you're just sat around on the couch going from bed to desk to couch and back again. That is highly dysregulating on anyone's appetite. It will usually lead to you overeating, overconsuming, oversnacking, excuse me. But then on the other end of the extreme, if you overdo it when it comes to movement, training, increasing these recovery demands on your body when you're already in a calorie deficit, that can actually contribute as well to breaking your diet, dysregulating your appetite, and having a lousy mood as well to go along with it. So I would then follow the caloric. So with most of my clients, what I'll do is I'll get them on a 10%-ish calorie deficit. Then I'll get them doing between 8,000 and 12,000 steps per day. And I'll get them weight training somewhere between 3 and 4 times per week. Usually fairly low intensity, high muscle stimulus, low systemic fatigue. I'll do that for about 8 to 12 weeks with them. And when we get them about 80% of the way with their fat loss efforts, what we'll do is reverse diet them back up so that they're consuming more calories. And it's at this point when they get back to their maintenance calories. That's when I'll layer cardio in to help keep the fat loss results that they already have, to keep the weight off. Cardio can be very useful here, but it's useful, I think, when you have a higher amount of calories that you're eating, because then you just have more energy to deal with the additional recovery demands that you're placing on your body. And also from a perspective of keeping body fat off, cardio plays a very vital role in helping you with insulin sensitivity, with nutrient partitioning, so that the calories that you do eat go to the right places, i.e. muscle mass. The other advantage of cardio, it's basically implicit in the name, is that cardio stands for cardiovascular training. So you're training your heart, you're training all the different blood vessels like your arteries, your veins, your capillaries, making sure that they're all flexible, that they're able to work properly. That is, an advantage, an obvious health advantage of having cardio in there. So I think cardio has its place in the long term when you get back onto maintenance periods, even in gaining phases, in strength blocks, because you actually have the energy to do it. Whereas most people do it the other way around. They see all of these fitness influencers or models or whatever in marketing campaigns where they're doing all this high impact cardio stuff to lose weight. That's not the most effective way to lose body fat at all. The most effective way, if you want to see the most effective ways, look at the extremes. Look at bodybuilders who are weight training 5-6 times per week and see how lean these people actually get. What they're essentially doing is they're prioritizing the retention of lean muscle mass by weight training so often, with that kind of high frequency, high volume. They're then prioritizing their protein intake, and they're dieting themselves to an extreme. Now, obviously, you're not looking to be a bodybuilder, not if you're watching my channel. I have no interest in stepping on stage myself, no interest in actually being a bodybuilder, but people who go to the extremes can prove the methods of what can still work. So the principles of bodybuilding can still work for the average person when it comes to fat loss, especially if you are tight on time. You need to look at where are the places that it's going to make the most sense for me to index very high on. And you know, it's going to be your diet, it's going to be weight training, it's going to be getting your step count up. It's not necessarily going to be running on a treadmill for an hour at a time, okay? Again, there's also no correlation between how much you sweat and how much body fat you lose, okay? It is a balancing act of the amount of calories that you consume versus the calories that you expend over the course of about a week on average. And the caloric expenditure from exercise in total is just not high enough for us to put all of our focus there. The main priority needs to be caloric intake, protein intake, getting in your steps, getting in your weight training. If you have additional fucks to give after that, then by all means, do some form of cardio that you enjoy, and definitely look to add it back into your routine for the purposes of your health, for your mood, etc. Once you've already hit your fat loss goals and when you're looking at things in a much longer time horizon. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Catch you in the next video.